Fox News alert on this now. Iraqi Vice President, former Prime Minister Ayad Allawi now speaking out about U.S. involvement in his country in an exclusive interview with Fox News. This coming as U.S.-backed Iraqi forces make significant gains trying to drive ISIS out of the city of Mosul. Benjamin Hall, live in London. He had the interview and has the story now. Benjamin.
Bill, this was really an eye-opening interview. It was the first time that Dr. Allawi had sat down with a U.S. network and spoken openly and honestly about the Obama years, what went wrong in them. Principally, he said two major factors. One was Obama's disengagement from the region, which created the vacuum filled by Iran. The other was the general pivot to Iran. And here's what Dr. Allawi had to say about Iranian influence at the moment in the region.
It is leading to bloodshed, to catastrophes, and to wars throughout the greater Middle East. It has been a destabilizing factor. It's destabilizing in Iraq, it's destabilizing in Syria, it's destabilizing in other places.
He said that today, Iran, through its support of Shia militias, effectively had control over parts of the Iraqi military, as well as large influence over some state institutions. He also spoke candidly about Russia and their new role in the region. I asked if they were the new power and if the U.S. could work with them.
We still believe in the United States. It's the only superpower. I don't think we should look at a competition here between Russian Federation and the United States, but rather as supplementing each other. And this is what I look forward that the new administration will do.
So Dr. Allawi very much in favor of the U.S. working with Russia in the region. Finally, I asked what he thought the U.S. might do moving ahead, how they could help. Here's what he said.
We don't want to see more American power here. We don't want to see more American troops here. We don't want to see more Americans being killed here in this country. But we need the leverage, the political leverage of the United States to help Iraq and to develop Iraq.
Now, when he talked about political leverage, he told me that that meant sanctions. He felt sanctions relief to Iran was given all too easily, that it should have been tied in with their involvement in the region. So again, another error, he claimed, by the Obama administration.
And characterize again, what is the threat of ISIS in his country today? And if you win the Battle of Mosul, is ISIS over in that country?
Well, yeah, two major points. I mean, ISIS is on the back foot in, in Mosul, and it will end up being beaten on the battlefield. That's sort of assumed. What comes next is all important. It's expected they will morph into an insurgency, but without political solutions in that country, without the Iranians being held back and controlled, that sectarianism which allowed ISIS to grow strong will still exist. And that's exactly what Allawi is saying. He wants to be a unifier. He wants to bring all the groups together. But you're right, win on the battlefield is not a win in the country.
Well,
so,
just one more point. He was in power until 2010, I do believe, right, about 6 years ago. And he had criticism for the previous administration. Is that sour grapes, Benjamin, or could this man have really made a difference in his country?
Yeah, it's one of the major points that he talks about. In 2010, he won the election. He had more seats. But the Obama administration pressured him to hand over power to the Maliki government, the Iranian-backed Maliki government. He says that that was the turning point. That was when things changed. Yes, I think he probably could have been a unifier. He talks openly about working with Sunnis and Shia and Kurds. And we know how the Maliki government ended up being very close to Iran, very sectarian. So, he says, and I tend to agree with him, that that was a turning point in the country. But he's looking ahead. He says the Trump administration offers new possibilities, rebuilding new bridges with allies who the Obama administration turned their back on. So very much hopeful as they move forward now, and he's looking forward to working with the administration.
Very interesting interview. Thank you, Benjamin Hall. Great information there out of London today. Benjamin, thanks.